beyond the headline and discuss what we are discussing tonight, that is electoral bonds. Days ahead of the State Assembly polls and months before the 2024 general elections, the centre has yet again stood its ground on the electoral bond scheme. There can be no general right to know anything and everything. This is exactly what the centre has said on whether voters, that is you and I, should know how our political parties get money to operate. So if you're voting for a particular party, we cannot ask how and where it's getting its funding from. The centre said that while various judgments have upheld citizens' rights to information on the criminal background of a candidate, these cannot be used to extrapolate a general right to know everything. A 5-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court will start hearing a batch of petitions challenging the electoral bond scheme on the 31st of October. These petitions challenge the amendments introduced by the Finance Act of 2017, which paved the way, remember, for anonymous electoral bond scheme. Let me also quickly take you through what electoral bonds are. The electoral bond system, which was announced in the 2017 budget, allows anonymous donations to political parties by both individuals as well as groups. A donor can purchase these bonds from authorized SBI branches, which can then be encashed by political parties within 15 days. The government also lifted the cap on how much private companies could donate to a political party. This, in fact, opened doors to unlimited funding by corporates, which petitioners say is an obscure funding system. So what is the problem if we get to know who is donating money to our political parties, the ones whom we are voting for? I ask my guests tonight. Let me first introduce you to them. I'm joined on the show tonight by Pradeep Mahar of the BJP, APS Kharyal of the Congress Party joins us, KV Dhananjay, advocate, joins us, and Shivani Kapoor, program lead legal at ADR, also joins us. ADR is, in fact, one of the petitioners in the case. Welcome to all of you. Shivani, let me start with you. Electoral bonds is something that came in as a welcome change when we thought that there would be more transparency in the funding of political parties. But clearly, that has not happened.
Right. I mean, in the beginning only, when electoral bond scheme was introduced by the then finance minister, when the anonymity clause was also introduced, we knew that this is not a step towards transparency and accountability at all, because everything related to electoral bonds and the corporate donation is completely anonymous. So to say that it's a transparency move by the government is kind of a joke, because through electoral bonds, you don't know who is paying to who, how much amount is going to be paid to which political party, which corporate or which big gigantic corporation is paying to which political party, what is their relationship, what is happening behind closed doors. There's this back door lobbying that is happening. There is a tendency of shell companies, giving donation to political parties. There is a tendency of benami transaction. There can be those companies which are made solely for the purpose of donating to political parties. So many things, so many issues are there with this kind of funding, which is completely and totally anonymous. So it is not a transparency move at all.
Okay, Pradeep Mahar, what is the problem if voters, if people like me, if people like the viewers who are watching you right now get to know where you're getting your funding from? What's the problem?
Exactly. So,
can I? Yeah, look, there is no problem at all. But the issue is, in this democratic system, if we, let out all the information to the people, people who are actually funding the parties, they might have some issues because they want their confidentiality. Because earlier I saw that you were talking to the petitioner and she was saying, she used the word, you don't know. You whom? Whom is she talking about? Is she talking about the people? Ultimately, and there is a very thin line between anonymity and privacy. There has to be privacy. For example, if you are calling somebody, definitely your privacy is important. But in case there is a criminal case, that can be, I mean, that call can be traced and police can find out where the call has been made from and what were the details of the call. In the similar fashion, in this electoral bond, whenever there is an issue, it can be easily found out by the agencies, by the different kind of agencies the government has, and they can easily find out what the issue is. And this is something very good in a sense that instead of cash funding, because earlier prior to this most of the funding to the political parties was in the form of cash, so the objective was to remove cash and make it to something that can be traced out, and the trail can be found out where the money is coming from. There were chances that money could have come from some illicit sources, some kind of terrorist sources. I mean, it could be anything when it is cash. So instead of cash, if somebody is paying by electoral bonds or even check.
So if that has been your concern, Pradeep Mahar, as a politician, as a voter, my concern would be, to see what are the sources of funding for your political party, for the representatives that I'm voting for, whom I'm sending to the parliament. Where is this funding coming from? How will my policies and government decisions be influenced? I would like to know that as a voter. If as a politician that is your concern, that there should be no illicit source of funding, my concern as a voter is I should be knowing what my political party is doing, how my political party is getting its money and operating.
Perfectly fine, Shreya. If you are just a citizen and you want to know that, where the money is coming from, and if you are, say, donating to a party, that is your right to keep a privacy, that you do not want to tell anybody which party are you supporting by money, because ultimately whatever money is coming, whatever funding is coming, that is coming from the people of India. So if they are willing to fund to the government or any political party, might be it is Congress also. I saw that opposition parties are making a lot of hue and cry on this, and they are also accepting those electoral bonds. So they should have said clearly, if electoral bonds is wrong, we are not willing to accept it. No, they're accepting is on one way, they're accepting it. I mean, I'm not able to understand the basic cause of the problem. On one way, they are saying that our database will go to the government. Means they are worried about the privacy first. And on the other hand, they are saying that there should be a transparent system. What do you want? Tell me clearly. Either you want privacy or you want transparency. There can be two different things altogether. I mean, these are two faces of a coin. I mean, they want both the sides of the coin.
Okay, nobody has a problem with electoral bonds, Pradeep Mahar. The problem is with the opaqueness that comes along with it. Let me get an APS Khadial into this. Arshpreet, what is your take on it? Electoral bonds are not a problem, but is the Congress party okay with revealing who is funding them?
One of the petitioners happens to be a Congress leader. Number two, it's astonishing. This very government of the Bharatiya Janata Party sitting in the center used to say we are logo ki sarkar, we are people's government. And when it comes to informing the people of the source of the electoral bonds, they say the citizens don't have the right to know the source. This is in plain and simple words called double standards, and the Bharatiya Janata Party has been exposed today. Number two, I don't understand where does the Bharatiya Janata Party get this logic from, because we happen to be living in the world's largest democracy. It is all about for people, by people, and of the people. And the Bharatiya Janata Party clearly could not tell what the problem is. Now, I'll tell you what. In 2018, January 2, 2018, when the Bharatiya Janata Party brought this about and it was notified, electoral bonds were brought to life, the Bharatiya Janata Party said the objective, the rationale behind it is to ensure transparency. Now, when it was all about transparency, when they had the chance, the Bharatiya Janata Party has made it categoric that they do not want transparency. So I want to ask the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, are you questioning your own government, your own former minister who had made the statement? Because there is no transparency. Nobody knows except your party that is getting so many electoral bonds that how much you have gotten and how much you've been spending, apart from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Number two, the electoral bonds happen to be interest-free, and they are payable to the bearer anonymously. I want to ask the Bharatiya Janata Party why this unaccountability? And if the Bharatiya Janata Party is not having to pay tax, why do the poor have to? Why does the middle class have to? And this sets the Bharatiya Janata Party. This exposes the Bharatiya Janata Party completely as to how they have been lying to the people about being all about people. This exposes the Bharatiya Janata Party on their double standards of transparency, accountability, and whatnot. And apart from that, one major objection to electoral bonds is that Finance Acts of 2017 and 2016 were amended, and they were passed as money bills. Now, the Bharatiya Janata Party is accustomed to bending the rules as and when it suits them. So now the Bharatiya Janata Party must clarify as to why have you said it in the court. And the words were that there are reasonable restrictions on the right to information of people. What kind of reasonable restrictions? If everybody is paying tax on the money that
Pradeep
they're getting,
Mahar, you want to respond to that? What are these reasonable restrictions? Rightly asked by the opposition parties, why these restrictions? Why are you not accountable? Why are you not transparent with the very voters you claim to be transparent with?
Yeah, that's what my issue is. Either you want transparency or you want confidentiality. What do you want? I mean, you are sitting on the both the edges. What is happening is, Congress party is saying that they want transparency. Okay, come on. If you want transparency, first of all, you make a website. In that website, you make an Excel sheet. Put all your database in the Excel sheet. When you are transparent enough, and include even check payments, include those cash payments also where it is coming from. And if you have done that, then you can further come forward and say that, this is what we have done. And now you also do it. Everybody will do it. I mean, they have to set an example. If they are so transparent and they're claiming to be very good. I mean, one thing is there are so many raids going on. Wherever, this is a very sophisticated, complicated kind of a scenario. In those raids, people are caught. So much money, we see on your TV channels also, so much money. Rooms are filled with money. And these are all Congress people. They have been caught. And other hand, the Congress is coming and saying, oh, look, the Congress party is being raided. The people of Congress party is being targeted. What the hell is this? Rather, it should have been that if your person is caught with so much of money, you should be ashamed. And they're coming forward and saying like this. So ultimately, because of these raids and all these revenue, illicit money that is found, we can easily say that Congress is funded by cash, and this is what they want to promote. The point is this, and that is why they are against electoral bonds. And as far as the confidentiality is concerned, if somebody is donating to the party, we should maintain the confidentiality of that person. We should not bring him into the open. This is what Bharatiya Janata Party is saying.
Why, Pradeep Mahar? Why should you? Aren't you, as a public entity, as a public organization, are you not entitled to be open, accountable, and transparent? Where does the privacy start and where does the privacy end for public institutions? You are people's representatives.
Look, as far as institutions are concerned, there is no privacy at all. Income tax department can find out the source of money. Even election commission has complete database where the money is coming from. So ultimately, that part is fully covered. Now comes that we should expose people, whosoever, say somebody is giving 2,000 rupees bond to BJP party, and the same person is giving 2,000 rupees or 1,000 rupees bond. It is minimum benchmark is 2,000. So let's say 2,000 to Congress party and 4,000 to BJP, or maybe vice versa. Right. So in that condition, he doesn't want that it should go in the open database, and we should keep that confidentiality. That is important. This is what I'm trying to say. Why do we want everybody to be in the open?
Okay, Shivani wanted to make a point. Pradeep Mahar, I'll come back to you. Okay, Shivani, please go ahead. You wanted to make a point.
First of all, this confidentiality clause that Sir is talking about, it has been proven during the hearing as well. It was asked in the Lok Sabha questions as well. No voter, nobody has asked for it. And if you should know that 94% of the electoral bonds are bought in the denomination of 1 crore and above. That means common citizens are not buying electoral bonds. They are not donating to the political parties through electoral bonds. So this privacy, as such, the so-called privacy is being, I think, only asked by the corporates. And why they're asking or emphasizing on the privacy, we all know that. So this privacy clause goes away in that scenario. And also, when we talk about participatory democracy, it is people's right to know versus these lawmakers' privacy. So we should know that which right should be given more emphasis. It has been time and again, right from 1975 in the Raj Narain judgment to 1996 Common Cause judgment, then the ADR's 2002, 2003 judgment, and then the recently Supreme Court in the 2022 judgment has emphasized on the fact that right to information is crucial. Every public act done by every public functionary has to be in the public domain. And this is not anything and everything voters are asking for. It is about crucial financial transaction we are wanting to know. We are wanting to know what is happening behind the closed doors. Now, coming to the political parties, let us also understand why we are emphasizing on the fact that information about this financial transaction of political parties should be there in the public domain. We have to understand that there is no law governing political parties in India. We have laws for schools, temples, colleges, any institution you name, we have laws for that. But for political parties, which are the crucial organization, which make leaders, which make eventually policies for the country, for the voters, we don't have law for them. Then political parties have completely refused to come under the ambit of RTI Act. In 2013, CIC gave the judgment. Political parties have refused to abide by that. It is 2023 now. So any guideline, anything, any direction given by the Election Commission of India, political parties totally refuse. There is 100% tax exemption given to the political parties. Now you see all that. Then the political parties have this ultimate power under 10th schedule, where they can dictate what MP and MLA can do and say. So, all this important privilege is given to political parties. So when it comes to coming out in the public domain, to be transparent, to be accountable, citizens' role is not just voting once in 5 years and that's about it. They are the watchdog. When there are lawmakers, when there are political parties, there are voters. And there is a duty on them also. They cannot do that function unless they have the first-hand information. So we have to understand that we are not asking for anything and everything. So that is also very, very important.
Absolutely. Yes, fair points and good points Shivani has made. Yeah, regarding voters' concerns. Yes, Pradeep Mahar, you want to respond? Please go ahead, and then I'm going to go to
just a one simple line. Election Commission of
quick.
India.
Shivani, can I answer?
One second, because you said it. Election Commission of India, Income Tax Department. Nobody knows anything about any money coming from electoral bonds. Political parties used to give that funding in their IT statements, which are distributed with the Election Commission of India. But it is not there anymore.
This is very surprising.
Give that information.
Okay, Shivani, you've made your point. Pradeep Mahar, please go ahead, respond.
Look, she's saying that things are going behind the closed doors and what not. I mean, she's saying she has got the database and people are purchasing. The minimum amount is 1 crore. What is this? Where did she get the database from? I mean, she's highly confused. This is what I want to say. First of all, nothing is
confused. This data is there in the public domain.
Let me. You made your point. Let me clarify it.
Correct. We have submitted that.
If you just want to keep on speaking, keep on. This is wrong. This is wrong. Keep quiet. Let me complete. So what is happening is when somebody is purchasing an electoral bond from the bank, ultimately he's revealing his identity, he's revealing who he is. He's also having his books ready. Even the income tax department can ask him, where did you get earn this money from? So that he's also showing that amount in his book of records. If he is at all, depositing his profit and loss account, so he'll be putting. I mean, it is completely transparent from the person's end, and there is nothing in the closed doors. Only objective is earlier the money was given in the form of cash. Was cash better? This question I want to ask both the panelists. Was cash good? Were they happy with the cash? So instead of cash, if somebody is giving that fund in the form of is in a very good manner, where it is he's showing in his book of accounts, it is completely accounting, money trail can be found out by the agencies. What is the problem? Why so much of hue and cry? And she's saying court, I mean, has court given some judgment? They have just, forwarded the petition. Discussion will be going on. You can't speak of the court. Court has not given any decision till date. And let's see what in the future, what the decision is going to be. We all trust our
We are not talking about the court here, Pradeep. We are talking about the centre stand. What the centre has said, that the citizens have no right to know everything and anything. Isn't that a bizarre stand to have when you are the political party governing the country, where you claim to be transparent with your voters? I want to bring in Arshpreet at this point. Pradeep Mahar, you've made your point. Arshpreet, please go ahead.
Just a small point.
Please come in.
Just a small point.
Okay,
No, just a small
quick
point.
20 seconds, Pradeep Mahar, and then Arshpreet.
Yes. There are two parties. One party wants to know, second party wants a confidentiality. We have to favor both the parties. Confidentiality is maintained for the second party who is donating. And as far as the first party is concerned, there are agencies who have the complete database. As simple as that. This is what I'm trying to say. This is what the point that is made by this
confidentiality you are
statement.
maintaining for the donors. What about the rights of voters? Are you not concerned about the people who are voting for you, in favor of you? They want to know where you're getting your funding from. Arshpreet, please go ahead.
Started the debate.
Thank you so much. See, I want to clarify a few things. The problem with the Bharatiya Janata Party is that when they have no logic to answer with, they start being arrogant and say that, everybody else is confused. Only we know what it is and what it's not. I want to tell the Bharatiya Janata Party that the party that brought electoral bonds to life is Bharatiya Janata Party. Please understand that. No other party has. Number two, I want to clarify two things. That the scheme that has been introduced of electoral bonds is an illegality, is ultra biased to the constitution because of one very simple reason. It bypassed the approval of the Rajya Sabha. And the Bharatiya Janata Party till date has not been able to answer as to why did you bypass the Rajya Sabha? Why did you have to transform it into money bills when they were not money bills? And number two, they say that no general right to know anything without reasonable restrictions. I asked him about this in the last segment as well, as to what do you mean by reasonable restrictions. He has no answer to it. Then he talked of Election Commission. He said Election Commission of India has its ways to find out the source and whatnot. I'm astonished that he's lying on national television, because the Election Commission of India in 2017, May 2017, I want to clarify, it gave a submission to the Standing Committee that the Election Commission of India has objected to the amendments made in Representation of People's Act, exempting parties from disclosing donations received through electoral bonds, and called it a retrograde step. Despite that, the Bharatiya Janata Party wants to believe something else. I think they are the ones who are actually confused, and not the other way around. Number two, the Election Commission of India also wrote a letter to Law Ministry and said, please reconsider it and modify it if it's possible. And number three, in 2019, the Election Commission of India had filed an affidavit in the Honorable Supreme Court. And the Election Commission of India's affidavit said, flagging the issues of laws being changed to allow political parties to receive contributions from foreign companies, allowing unchecked foreign funding of political parties, which could lead to Indian policies being influenced by foreign companies. Now, does the Bharatiya Janata Party have an answer to that, or will they still try to confuse the people with it? Please take an answer from him.
Okay, Pradeep, respond to that. Also, just to add to what Arshpreet said, not just the Election Commission, but the RBI had also called electoral bonds as bearer bonds, opaque, whose ownership cannot be traced. What's the problem in being transparent and accountable? I'm repeating this question again and again because I don't yet have an answer from you on this.
First thing, let me answer Mr. Khadial. Mr. Khadial said, that as the Election Commission did this, and ultimately, all books of records are submitted to the Election Commission, and definitely the Income Tax of India can go and check all the records. So there is an agency who is taking care of this. Second thing is, if electoral bonds are wrong, say, then cash is okay, check is okay. What is okay then? I mean, if even Congress were ruling earlier, they also maintained a complete, privacy of the people who were donating to them. And even today, they are maintaining their privacy. If you are so, like, say, ready to become transparent, come forward. That's what I said. Make an Excel sheet. Put it on the Excel sheet. Whosoever is donating it to you. Yeah, huge money is coming to Congress. I mean, there are so many different Congress people who are being raided.
Arshpreet,
And what is found that tons and tons of LP notes are found.
I just want to clarify two things.
Okay.
I just want to clarify.
This is pure hypocrisy.
That it is 1 second, please. My name is Arshpreet. Yours is not. I am from Congress. You are not. Please understand that. Number one. I want to clarify.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I'm not interested.
1 second, please. 1 second. He's giving us lectures on accountability, transparency. Please figure out who brought the RTI into existence. And please figure out who does not want it there. And you'll have all your answers. Number two, if anyone is to be questioned, it is you and your party. And it is you and your party that have no answers as to why.
So we are answering it, no? We are answering it.
1 second, that the people do not, that the people cannot, citizens cannot know the source.
Can you ask a party to get the Excel sheet?
Why can't they not know the source? 1 second. Can foreign companies make donations or not?
Can't you ask a party to bring an Excel sheet of people?
Make donations or not? Can foreign companies make donations?
Most of the foreign, most of the foreign fund is coming to the.
Have you received
most of the foreign fund is given to Congress. I mean, there are so many charges. Go back and look.
Received electoral bonds from a foreign company.
Okay, gentlemen, you've made your points. Okay, let me quickly give 20 seconds to Shivani. Last word, Shivani. The Supreme Court will be hearing this. What do you expect? Pradeep ji, you've made your point. Okay, Pradeep ji, you've made your point. We're done here. Both of you gentlemen have made your points. Shivani, quick 20 seconds. What are you expecting when the Supreme Court does start hearing your petition?
I just really hope that Supreme Court reaffirms its faith on people's right to know. It is way more important in any participatory democracy. People, we the people of India, we have a right, we act as a watchdog in any participatory democracy. So our right to make an informed choice, our right to do the audit of every government transaction, our right to question, our right to know. It is the first and foremost right over any so-called right to privacy asked by or emphasized by the government of the day. And we are not, if we are so okay with electoral bond, we are only challenging the anonymity clause in the bond. Keep the electoral bonds, but remove the anonymity clause. That is all we are asking for. If they are okay with that, keep the electoral bonds. But people have a right to know, and that
we'll
should remain as it is.
have to see what the Supreme Court says. Yeah, the right to know of the people of India, or Pradeep ji, as you would like to call it, the people of Bharat. You may use it interchangeably. We'll have to see what the Supreme Court says. Arshpreet Karyal, Pradeep Kumar and Shivani Kapoor, thank you very much for speaking with us tonight. All right. Well, let's wrap it up here. Thank you very much to all of my guests tonight for joining us and sharing your perspective on the electoral bonds and their transparency. With that, we're heading into a short break. News and updates will continue on Mirror now. Stay tuned.